Good evening, and thanks for joining us once again here this week. Night number 3 at the Monster Mile here in Dover, Delaware. I'm Greg Olenek, joined by Curtis Swatsworth. Welcome, Curtis. And are you excited for some high-banked action out here in the first state here tonight?
What's going on, Greg? Yeah, very excited. Monster Mile, I mean, that concrete, this place, watching on TV, you see them as they go into that corner, they dip into the seat, and it puts a lot of pressure on the drivers. So, not that these drivers here will feel that pressure, but I'm sure on track they'll feel some pressure to get up to the top 10 and get as max points that they can.
Yeah, and after, the last 2 nights, they've seen what's happened out here. And granted, it's not been a really caution-filled race for the last 2 races. There have been quite a few cautions, but I wouldn't say caution-riddled races. But those cautions take out lots of cars when they do happen. So regardless of how many that we see out there, it does some big-time damage to these guys and can really hurt their chances as we head towards the playoffs.
Yeah, this track could definitely ruin some people's least point standings for the next couple weeks, as they could have a really bad night tonight. This track is super fast. It's not very wide, so if you get loose off of 2 or loose off of 4 and it creates a log jam, there's a lot of cars that could pile into this before they could get stopped, and it could ruin your race, which could take a couple races to build back up into the points.
Yeah, and coming off of Talladega last week too, it seemed like a pretty much green flag race, just one caution out there. But some guys probably didn't have the finish that they wanted because, super speedways are those ultimate wild card races and can sometimes not go the way you want. So they're going to want to have a good showing out here tonight, and we're going to go ahead and get our first glimpse at the Xfinity Series points with drop weeks included after Talladega. No surprise, Seth Reed still at the top of the board with his 2 wins here so far this season, but Kyle Benson, last week's winner at Talladega, sits 14 points behind them with 2 wins to his name. Jacob Manning there just quietly sitting there in third, waiting to strike again, maybe get his second win of the season here tonight, just 16 points back of Seth. And then you got Drew Ballesteros, Seth Berger, Kyle Spees, Tristan Bailey, Max Service, James Shamewolf, and Nathan Sylvia in the top 10. But everybody else below them, Curtis, going to have to be really on their game these next couple of weeks because they are not far from that cut line.
No, 16th to 11th, you've got, 10 points separating them, or 11 points. So this stretch of races here between Talladega, Dover, Auto Club, Las Vegas, Iowa, Kansas, this is a tough stretch here to make sure you get enough points to get to that time period of going to the playoffs. One race could really ruin it. Like I said, this could be a race that ruins it for 2 or 3 races for you to build back up and to get in here. The top 15, obviously, going to the playoffs, that's where you want to be. So, it's gonna be a rough couple weeks if you have a bad week tonight or a bad race tonight.
Absolutely, and you got a 2-time playoff driver here, and Aaron Gerwitz sitting there in 16th. Just 1 point behind Nathan De La Rosa and well in grasp of maybe climbing back into the top 10 with a good night here tonight. But take a look at some of these other names. You got Brandon Domain, who's 3 points back. Causey sits there now, who joined the season a little bit later than the rest of these guys. He's only 6 points back of the cut line. So that's going to be another driver possibly occupying the top 15 here shortly. Bo Tiffany, who was a playoff driver last season, and Chris Bishop, who's had a very quiet but decent season, well enough to be close to that cutoff line. Take a look at these guys. You got Danny Dow back here. You got Logan Joyner, season 1 champion, also back there. And then Jovi Ray, who's still only 58 points back with 4 weeks left to go. Anything's possible still.
Yeah, 58 points, it sounds like a lot of points, but obviously with the races that are left, like I said, it really comes down to every single race of trying to be consistently in the top 15, top 10 in points to make sure that you don't fall too far behind and you keep building. Because if you're in the top 10 in points, and obviously if one of the or at the end of the race, if you're in the top 10 and one of those top 10 drivers is not, you're building on those points against that person. That's who you're racing, is that 15th person, really, from back here. You're not really racing for first. You're not really racing for 10th. You're racing for 15th in the points. That's all you're worried about. So Jovi being back there, Dylan being back there. There's a few others in this whole list. I mean, James Kerr, I've watched him in a couple different leagues. I'm kind of surprised he's still hovering back here in 32nd, 51 points back. I don't know what's going to happen here. There's a few drivers here I'm surprised that do not have wins yet. Even in the top 10, there's some drivers in there that I'm surprised don't have a win yet. When are one of those guys going to hit and get a win?
That could possibly be here tonight. Very good tease, Curtis, because this track is known to produce some first-time winners. So we'll see what happens and if some of these guys can possibly make a run towards that cut line. A lot of them still very much within reach to do just that. So moving on, we're going to take a look at the team championship standings after week number 8 last week at Talladega. JW Racing with a slight lead here, starting to become a good battle for first with the 70-point gap between them and Tank Racing, and then Marty Reedy Motorsports right there as well, just 87 points back. Good battles all around in these team championship standings.
Yeah, I mean, we saw in practice today that there's a lot of drivers from JW Racing that are sitting in the top 15 in practice. Really, I mean, you had the 50. He was at the top of the board in practice. You had Shane Wolf in third in practice. So that's two, drivers right there within JW Racing that are already really fast in practice. I really think one of our winners, or our winner tonight, is probably going to come from one of those drivers in JW Racing, but I don't know if I'm willing to pick one of those drivers tonight. Talking with those drivers, they were really kind of, I guess, believing in this broadcaster curse, and I went down and asked. I said, hey, can I pick one of you guys? And they were like, nope. But Drew Ballesteros from JW Racing, he said I could pick him tonight, but I don't know who I'm going to go with yet.
Well, that's why you don't ask them, Curtis, because then they can't tell you no. But, yeah, you would not be wrong in picking any of those guys. They can very much win here tonight. So about 2 minutes before we get out there on the track, let's go ahead, check out the season sponsors here on Speed Racing Network. Silverback Tax Solutions. If you have any problems with the IRS, go ahead and get in touch with Sean Griffith over there at Silverback Tax Solutions. Sparkle and Shine Mobile Detailing. Go ahead, get that car looking good. Check out Sparkle and Shine Mobile Detailing right now. Butt Kicker going on board to sponsor the Hard Charger standings. We'll check them out shortly. And then TJ's Team Foundation at morethanAcape.org. So let's go ahead, take a look at that Butt Kicker Hard Charger standings. Kyle Spees up at the top of the board. Didn't really help his cause last week after starting on the pole. Came home second at Talladega, but still a nice healthy gap between him and Taylor Smith. Jack Hedgecock's there in third. Kyle Benson and Brandon Richardson there in fifth. All these guys racing for a Butt Kicker Game or 2 to whoever has the most positions gained throughout the season. But Curtis, let's go ahead and check out the power ranking sponsored by Silverback Tax Solutions right before we get out there on the track with about a minute to go. Seth Reed is at the top of the board still, but Kyle Benson creeping ever so close. They've pretty much got the same stat line there, 2 wins and 5 top fives.
Yeah, Benson's been on a roll. I named it, obviously, last week we weren't in the booth. But prior to that, 4 straight races of finishing in the top 6. That's really good numbers. 4 races in a row. It's moved him up through the point standings and the power rankings. And once you're on a streak, this is the time to streak, is these last few races before we go into the playoffs. You want to take all that momentum you can right into the playoffs and continue it through to try to be the champion at the end of the season.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy to check out his last 5 races, 2 of which he has won, averaging a average finish of 2.0. So I think a safe bet, if you're not going to take one of those JW cars, might be Kyle Benson here tonight, because he has been on an absolute tear. Jacob Manning there in third. Kyle Spees still there in fourth after a nice runner-up last week at Talladega. Seth Berger is going to round out the top 5. So that's a look at this season's power rankings here in week number 9. Let's go ahead and get out there on the track, because qualifying has just wrapped up. We're here at Dover Motor Speedway in Dover, Delaware, for race number 9 of 20 Nice 78-degree day. Nice mild track temperature there at 99 degrees. Should be a very good race this evening.
Yeah, the track's going to get really warm with a lot of these cars running around. They got a whole lot of cars in the field tonight. I think we're up to 37, 38 cars on track. It's going to get pretty warm. I mean, we saw it in real life. Once that track starts to heat up, those cars they don't want to stick in the corners and they start floating. So it's going to be who can really manage their tires throughout this run if they get long runs.
Well, let's go ahead and check out the starting grid for tonight's race. 150 laps here at the Monster Mile. Jacob Manning there in first. He's got the pole here tonight. Joseph Causey, though, just to his outside. And then Seth Berger, James Shamewolf in row 2, Logan Truitt, and Drew Ballesteros in row number 3.
Yeah, I mean, you got 5 of the 2 top teams built into the top 6 right now. But yeah, 7th you're gonna have Tristan Bailey, 8 Dylan Patterson, 9 Max Service, Michael Lepicki is gonna be 10th, Nathan DeRosa is gonna be 11th, Ben Park is going to be 12th.
Yeah, so a solid field here tonight. You kind of hinted at it. 37 cars here at the Monster Mile. We'll get down there on the track. There you see Jacob Manning getting ready to pull out onto the surface here at the Monster Mile. A very slick concrete surface, not like we're used to seeing. It can really tear up these tires if they're not careful, Curtis.
Yeah, we saw Manning in practice, and he was running 23.5s, and he actually ran 3/10 or 3/100ths faster than, or 4/100ths faster than what he was running in practice. So he saved a little bit for qualifying, and he's come out here and gotten the pole tonight. But yeah, these tires are going to have to be watched. 150 laps. I mean, that's a lot of laps. If we get a lot of green flag runs here, we're going to see some guys maybe trying to pull some different strategies to get those fresh tires on during pit stops.
Well, Curtis, we're about to take this thing green. Who you think you got here tonight? I know you said you're not allowed to pick a few of these JW guys. Who you thinking?
I mean, I picked Seth Reed in my first race. He won. Last week I picked a different driver, and he did not fare well with my pick. So this week, I'd really like to see Kyle Spees get that first win of the season, but I think I'm going to have to choose between a Kyle to win tonight. I'm going to go with either Kyle Benson or Kyle Spees. So a Kyle is going to win the race tonight.
All right, I'm going to take that 54 that said we're allowed to pick him. I'm going to take Drew Ballesteros here tonight. I think he gets his second win on the season and starts to make a hard charge towards these playoffs. But the pace car is off, and that Silverback Tax Solutions green flag is waving now in Dover. We are underway for 150 laps at the Monster Mile.
Yeah, Jacob Manning's going to take him into turn 1. They're going to build speed through this corner. Out of turn 2, that's where it's going to get sketchy with guys being 2x2. They're going to want to get single file as much as they can because the guys on the outside are going to get stuck, but they're going to carry the momentum. So if you get stuck side by side for a few laps, you see them all starting to get single file in the front now already.
Yeah, coming out of turn 4, Joseph Causey taking the lead from Jacob Manning. So we will go back to the front here and see Causey starting to put some distance between him and the 50. That 42 looking really fast here early on. But these are the laps that matter most when it comes to saving what you got here and making these long runs happen. We saw these Xfinity guys do it last week at a super speedway that doesn't usually promote that clean of racing. They only had 1 caution on the evening. Let's see if they can go flag to flag here tonight. Those tires are going to come in big time when it matters the most.
Yeah, I don't know if Causey wants to get out here and really try to lay down laps and just lay down some burners. We talked about it in the pre-race here that the tires are going to mean a lot tonight. So I don't know if I want to get out there and I want to run as many fast laps as possible. He just ran a 7.46 in that second lap there, and he already beat what Manning put down for the pole. So I don't know if you want to run as fast as laps as possible. I would probably conserve a little bit. I think that's why Jacob let him go to the lead and is just going to sit behind him for a little while.
Taking a look here at Nathan De La Rosa making the pass on the 46 of Mike Lepicki. Moved that 66 on up to 8th place now. Seeing what other battles we got going on back here. This is Wayne Rayborn and Nathan Sylvia. Rayborn trying to hold off the 36 Sylvia, who's starting a little back further than he's used to. He started 21st here tonight. That 36 is already up to 17th, looking to get a few more spots here as he's got a long line of cars.
Caution out on track.
Yeah, Matthew Robinson I'm seeing involved in this one. Big damage for that 51.
Oof. Yeah, that's probably going to be a really long pit stop if he doesn't use a fast repair. But I was actually noticing before that caution came out, I was going to say we had a hard charger already. That's a lot of positions that Joseph Marcy made up just in a few laps. Up 9 positions in the first 6 laps here.
Yeah, not off to a bad start. But, yeah, Matthew Robinson, a little bit of extra help there from maybe the 2 of Zach Deutscher. Going to take another look at it here. Just gets a big run, goes to the inside of the 2, and the 2 gets into the wall and comes down a little bit right in to the 51. So that is big-time damage. I have to imagine Robinson has some possible engine damage to that car as well, but still moving. We'll see if he's able to get that 51 back out on track.
Yeah, I'm not sure who he hit when he spun off the wall, too. But that car is going to have some good damage on the left side as well. It looked like to be a white car, so I'm not sure if that was the 21 or who that was, but somebody's going to have some front left damage for sure as the 54 spun off the wall there.
Yeah, there's the 21 of Danny Dow. Very much could have been him, as he's got some significant damage that's probably already been repaired a little bit because he's been in his stall for a few seconds already. But, yeah, taking an extended pit stop already up to 25 seconds trying to get those repairs fixed. And you can't take a very long time here, unfortunately, with such a short track. It's only a 1 mile oval. These pace laps don't take very long around here.
Yeah, I mean, if it's required time, you're going to have to sit there and you're going to have to fix it. At this point, though, early on in the race, if you're expecting the racing to be really hard and really racy, that guys are going to be making some moves, it is kind of hard to pass at Dover. You've got to have those runs, which are really hard to go anywhere with, because that outside line does not really prevail too often unless you're the one on fresh tires. But if you really think there's going to be more cautions tonight, go ahead and just sit there and fix it. But doesn't look like this 21's going to do that, so I guess it was optional time that he was fixing. And he already got the required done, and he's back out now coming on the track.
All right, well, the pace car lights are still on. That means we have plenty of time to go ahead, step aside, take a quick commercial break. We will be right back. Don't go anywhere.
Want to be a part of an established league on iRacing? A league that's competitive, fun, and above all fair? Look no further than Speed Racing Network. Originally known as Mid-South Madness, SRN has evolved into a league that can bring the best out in any given driver. Drivers work their way up through the ranks to hopefully one day call themselves a champion of Speed Racing Network. If you're interested in joining, don't hesitate to reach out to league admins to claim your spot today. Maybe you'll end up in the history books. If you're interested in becoming a sponsor in Speed Racing Network, feel free to head over to www.speedracingnetwork.com and reach out to an admin today. And as always, remember to go faster.
Silverback Tax Solutions specializes in dealing with IRS tax problems. If you are receiving threatening letters from the IRS, or if the IRS has placed liens or levies on your property, Silverback Tax Solutions can help you find relief. We have worked with hundreds of people to resolve their tax problems. If you're behind on filing your taxes, it's never too late to get on the right track. Silverback Tax Solutions can help with that also. Don't let another night go by where you lose sleep worrying about the IRS or your taxes. Head over to www.silverbacttax.com or call 662-996-4357 and contact an enrolled agent today. We can help you gain peace of mind and deal with those problems for you.
With the Butt Kicker Gamer 2, what you see and what you hear is what you feel. Butt Kicker. The future is feeling.
All right, Welcome back. You guys did not miss any of the action. Coming right back from the commercial break and getting right into the Silverback Tax Solutions green flag. Joseph Causey with a great start on that high line, bringing his teammate Seth Berger right behind him. Now, Tank Racing teammates 1-2 here at Dover.
Yeah, Seth has moved up one position. Causey's moved up one position, so they're just going to try to sit up here and stay up front. But Drew has other ideas as he's underneath Seth Berger right now for second place.
Did you see that there? A little bit of contact there as these guys were going 3 wide a little further on back here. Looking like that's a battle with Kyle Benson and Ben Park, with Mike Lepicki and Nathan Sylvia just in front of him. Now Sylvia up into the 12th position now, 9 spots up from where he started. And that we're just going to check into while we're already talking about it. Let's go ahead and take a look at Seth Reed. He's so far the butt kicker hard charger of the race there at plus 13 on the night.
Yeah, him and Joshua Marcy are the two that I was watching coming from the back. And Joshua's up 12, and he's kind of following Seth Reed for a while there, but Seth's gotten past a few more guys in front of him and caught back up to him and passed him with the most move or most positions gained. But Marcy and Reed are definitely on the move from the back.
Wow, tight racing here between Benson and Sylvia. They make contact, and Benson comes down into Lepicki and Ben Park there. Second caution of the night is out here.
Glad I picked 2 cows tonight. That's going to be one of them taken out right there. Now, if Kyle Spees gets taken out, yeah. If Kyle Spees gets taken out, I'm not making a pick the rest of the season, because that'll be 2 that I got in one night.
All right, let's go ahead and take a look at the Sparkle and Shine mobile detail and rec replay here. We saw it happen live. Let's take a different vantage point here up above this number 10 of Kyle Benson. They just get really tight off of turn 4 here, and Sylvia just gets a little bit into the wall. Not even sure if he hit it, but still drove down to avoid it a little bit. Gets into the 10, and then nowhere for Lepicki as well as Ben Park to go. So, you know, Tank Racing having a great night with 2 drivers out in front, but now some of their drivers having a little bit of trouble out there in Mike Lepicki.
Yeah, this is not a very good start for Kyle Benson. We know he's super fast, second in points. I think he can make up some ground. He's been pretty fast. He started in the top 10. Obviously, he's had a very, very good last 5 races with that 2.0 average finish. So now he's gonna have to sit in pit and fix this or use a fast repair, whatever he's gonna have to do here. But it's going to be tough for him to come from the back with all this. He's going to have to be careful, and he's going to have to really stay out of anybody else's mess. This back half that's what we always consider the hornet's nest for guys who are, just really trying to move up, and they race each other a little different here at the back of the field.
Yeah, riding on board here with Ben Park in the 23, just nowhere to go. Kind of thought he might have got by there from the look of it in his cockpit. Couldn't see that 10 coming back down to hit his teammate there in the 46, but still I think that engine in that 23 might be okay. He's just going to have some significant damage there. So yeah, no surprise, that one is going to go on Nathan Sylvia. So he is going to be receiving that EOL penalty, even though he's going to be all the way in the back of the pack already after a long 39-second pit stop on pit road for some repairs to that 36. So after a good start on the night for Sylvia, finding himself in some trouble here early on lap number 13.
I'm trying to remember, is there fast repairs in this series?
Nope. No fast repairs, yeah. So all these guys.
For some reason I was thinking there was, but I was noticing Kyle Benson did not fix his front bumper at all. So, yeah, that's going to be really rough then if he can't get a repair at all.
Yeah, we used to have them here in SRN, and we've kind of whittled them out in each series throughout the seasons, and this season is the first of which none of the 3 series have fast repairs. So yeah, it's the damage that they receive, unfortunately, going to really hinder their chances here tonight. But Joseph Causey there in first place. My pick there, Drew Ballesteros up in second place. I figured he would be a strong contender here tonight. Seth Berger there in third. I know a lot of Burger Nation out there in the chat here tonight. Tristan Bailey, another driver we were looking at, Curtis, is in fourth place. And there's Jacob Manning, tonight's pole sitter, there in fifth. Got Dylan Patterson in the AC Delco throwback here in sixth place. Good run for the 8 here tonight. Nathan De La Rosa just quietly sitting here in the top 10. In seventh, Logan Truitt there in eighth place. Max Service in ninth. And hey, look, there's Brandon Domain, who did tell me he could potentially have a good top 10 run here tonight. That number 20 grid finder Chevy Camaro looking good up front. So that's a look at the top 10. Looking pretty good so far, Curtis.
Yeah, I probably should have went with Seth Reed. I was watching him in practice, and I knew I already picked him once this season, and he won his race. But for some reason, I've been hung up on these Kyles. Benson's been running really well. Spees has been, obviously the biggest mover every week. I really thought one of the two of them would be good. I mean, Benson could still technically come back, I guess, but I think it's all on Kyle Spees. But I should have probably went with Seth Reed, who's up 17 positions already, Greg. That's an incredible amount of cars being passed in 17 laps.
Yeah,
it's 1 car per lap he's moved from the back.
It is a lot of cars that Kyle Spees has passed here this season, so no surprise. But look at this message. You're getting a little bit of a talking to here. I believe this is his grandmother here saying, "Don't jinx my grandson, Kyle Spees," and throwing a little emoji in there. So you're starting to get some haters out there in the chat, Curtis. Got to be careful.
Hey, I'm not a hater of Kyle Spees. I really would love to see him get a win. I've been watching him all season so far, pushing up through the field and everything. I'd love to see him get his first win. So no hate, just a little bit of admiration of how well he drives throughout the season so far.
Yeah, and I mean, I talked to him a few weeks ago in the Gearing Up segment and learned that this would mean a lot to him to get his first win here in SRN, and he's just ever so close. I personally know he has the talent to do it, and still with a good shot, up plus 12 here this evening. They're sitting in 18th. Pacozzi off to a good restart here. The third restart of the night brings his teammate again, Seth Berger, out to second. That puts Ballesteros in third, so keep an eye. Ballesteros looking pretty racy there, trying to get by the 77. Takes a look to the inside.
Yeah, Greg, the top 22 have not pitted yet with these 2 cautions that came out. They're still all on their 20-lap tires so far, so nobody from the top 22 has decided to come down and grab tires or anything like that. The only people that's really gone down and gotten tires is back from 23rd, so I think these guys are really trying to pull some tire strategies. Those limited amount of tires they got, this track tears them up. If you don't have to come down, don't go down and swap out the tires. Let them come into the feel of the track and really let them eat.
Yeah, that was a good look there, coming off of turn 4 with this roof cam for Seth Berger. That just shows you how tight this track can get in a hurry when you're racing somebody side by side. But both of these guys doing a great job. Move Tristan Bailey now up into the third position. Got another battle behind Seth Berger. That's going to be Jacob Manning and Dylan Patterson. Dylan Patterson to the inside of the 50, looking to make his progress up to the top 5. And it looks like we got another crash here. Just seeing James Shanewolf involved, along with the 15 of Daniel Keith, and I believe that's Bo Tiffany as well.
Yeah, this one's going to be a few different drivers mixed in. Not good for Shane Wolf, though. That's he was really kind of climbing through the points, and he's already got that win on the season. He's all over the back bumper there, and he gets tagged by, was that the 40?
Might be the 48 of Travis Anderson, so he might be getting the EOL on that one. It did look like it might be a fault there of the 48, so let's take another look at that.
They're 2 wide in front of a 3 wide group, so that's really hard racing right there.
So take a look up above the 53. He had to check up a little bit here for the 21. Kills his momentum through the turns. And Deutscher inside of the 48 gives really Anderson not much room to work with there. Unfortunately, gets into Shane Wolf and nowhere for the 15 to go. I believe Bo Tiffany going to be okay in this mix, even though he got some rear end damage there. And the all-happy Seiko de Mayo, number 13, out there. But I think he's going to be okay as far as his damage goes. But yeah, nowhere really for Anderson to work with. So all of the leaders, except for Aaron Gerwitz, and Kyle Spees coming down pit road. That's going to give this 09 the lead. Wondering if this is something that we saw last night as well. We've seen a few guys opt to stay out to lead a lap because these bonus points will go a very long way in determining who qualifies for those playoffs.
Yeah, I mean, I thought it was kind of funny that I had just mentioned that the top 22 had not pitted yet so far, and how the top 22 all come down. Besides Aaron Gerwitz, who stays out, Kyle Spees also stays out too. He's sitting fourth now, both of them on 24-lap old tires. I think Kyle's actually going to be third when they come around through here, but it's kind of a bold strategy, Greg. I don't know if this is going to be a benefit. We've seen 3 cautions so far in the first 24 laps. They may be expecting maybe another caution to come out in the next 10, 15 laps. Then come down and get your tires. That's 40 laps into the race. You're almost a quarter of the way through. So I don't know. That's a bold strategy. We'll see if this works for Gerwitz.
Yeah, you saw it there. Just those admins coming up with a good call, calling it a racing incident, no penalties, handled down after we took another look at it there. That's kind of what I agree with as well. Not much real estate to work with there for the 48, so not much he could do. But you're right, Kyle Speed is going to be up to second now. Move Josh Siegfried there in third place. I know he's got some viewers out there in the chat. They'll be excited to see that number 60 Phoenix Virtual Racing Chevy Camaro up in third. And then Sylvia, who we just saw involved in an incident not too long ago, sitting in fourth with Robert Beasall, a newcomer here to SRN, in the top 5. And that'll put Causey back there, the first car that just pitted, back in 6th. So he is not too far back, but still going to have to work around these cars. And the top 2 have not pitted this entire race, I do believe.
Yeah, top 2 have not pitted. And then Siegfried sitting third. He pitted 11 laps ago underneath one of the cautions. Sylvia pitted 9 laps ago. Besaw pitted 11 laps ago. And then from 6th on back, everybody else just pitted. So you're going to have a lot of fast guys with fresh tires going against the top 5, who are all on a little bit older or 25-lap old tires from the beginning of the race.
Yeah, so 3 cautions in the early start of this race. It's kind of what we were a little worried. We know how these Xfinity cars are very difficult to drive in the surface, not helping at all either. Very narrow, high banked oval, and when we say banked, it's banked all the way around this thing, even on the front and back straightaways. So you're always putting some wheel into it, and it just can really kind of throw you for a loop when you're battling someone side by side. And then we've seen some three wide racing here this evening too. That is very difficult to do. You got to get that sorted out before you get to these exits of these turns. Otherwise, you're going to be seeing what we've seen here tonight, and that is a lot of damaged race cars out there on the track.
Yeah, watching last week's Dover race in real life, I mean, if you spin and you touch that outside wall, even on the straightaways, the car still wants to slide down as it is banked, like you said, Greg. I think they said it's like 3 degrees banking on the straightaways.
I think it's 9, actually, yeah.
Is it 9?
Crazy, yeah.
Okay. And then it's like 28 or 27 or something like that for the corners. Yeah. So, I mean, it's a bowl that is angled on all sides of this entire track, and there is no staying in one spot. You touch something, you will slide.
Yeah, so Aaron Gerwitz gets a good jump on the field here. Kyle Speed is going to clear Josh Siegfried there for second. Now Sylvia going to work to the outside of Siegfried and bring Causey along with him, the 42, trying to get back up to the front here in a hurry. The 36, though, kind of blocking his progress. Causey going to look to take it 3 wide, be the meat in the sandwich maybe, thinks better of it. Coming out of 4 there, probably the right call.
Yeah, that was a smart decision on Causey's part. He's on fresh tires. He knows these guys in front of him are on a little older tires, and there's no reason to take it 3 wide, and especially being the middle of the 3 wide. That's not a good place to be at all on Dover. So very smart strategic move on his part to kind of back out of it, reset. He got the position anyways, and I mean, now he's sitting 4th, so it's a very smart move on his part.
Now a battle between Patterson and Beasall. Move Patterson up ahead of that 33. Now Seth Reed looking to get by that 33. These are all the fresher tires going by what was only, 9-lap older tires. So that just goes to show, whoa, Tristan gets really loose comes up the track, almost gets into the 81. They both keep it going straight and cross the start-finish line side by side, heading down to turn 1. Battles all heating up back here from 7th on back to, 12th, I believe.
Yeah, that's that whole group of guys on fresh tires from 9th on back all have fresh tires. And then you have 3 fresh tire guys with 4th, 5th, and 6th. And then you have those older tire guys. But the top 2 are on 30-plus old tires, and they're holding off the field. Gerwitz, 31-lap old tires, up 1 second already on Kyle Spees, sitting 2nd. And then Spees over Siegfried, who's on 17-lap old tires. He's only about 2/10 fast, or 2/10 ahead of him, with Kazi just breathing down both of their necks.
Yeah, so Aaron Gerwitz capturing his first win ever in his SRN career last season in the last race of the year. Looking to maybe make it 2 here in SRN here at Dover tonight. Pulling out to a healthy lead, but now has Kazi right behind him, and that is a big gap, but I have a feeling that 42 is going to shrink that gap up quickly here on the 09.
Yeah, I don't know if Kazi and Berger are teammates or not. I can't remember if they're on the same team, but they are working. Okay, so that makes sense, and they're working through these guys on older tires. You've seen Kazi go by Kyle Spees. That opened the door for Seth to get underneath him. Spees was able to carry the momentum out of the corner, but the next corner, Spees had to drift a little bit high in the corner, which allowed Berger to get underneath him again and go by him. And now you have 3rd and 4th, Seth Berger and Kyle Spees now Joseph Kazi and Seth Berger, and 2nd and 3rd looking at Aaron Gerwitz, trying to track him down about a second out in front of these 2 on fresh tires.
Yeah, but with the trend of this race so far, this could really work out for that 09 if it just keeps the car in the top 5. He's already plus 19 after starting 20th here. He's got the bonus point now after leading some laps. He can just get that track position and hold on to it. It's going to be a good night for that 09. So sorting itself out back here. Move Dylan Patterson up to 4th place now. Gets on by the 88 of Tristan Bailey. Seth Reed now looking at the 88. He's already up 23 spots this evening. Sits in 6th and not convinced that he is done yet. That 81 looking very fast here tonight.
Yeah, I knew I should have picked Seth. I should have. I picked him in the first race, didn't even know who he was. I just noticed how he was driving the track, and I went with him, and he won his first race that I was broadcasting, so I should have stuck with Seth. But these guys, they're making moves all over the place. These fresh tires are really trying to get by the guys on the older tires, but the older tire guys are really hanging in there. I mean, they haven't fallen too far back. They're still in the top 10 between who stayed in there. So, Spees has fallen now to 15th, but Gerwitz on 37-lap old tires. My worry is the fuel. If it goes another 20 laps, does he have enough to make it for the entire fuel run to make it to another caution if one does come out? To where the other guys will have to decide if they want to go get tires or not. But then looking at him being able to survive and be as fast as he is on those older tires, do they then want to stay out and try to fight for more sets of tires at the end of the race?
Yeah, not going to put up a fight here. Lets these cars on fresher tires go on by. New race leader, Joseph Kazi, now to the point. Seth Berger just behind him. Just how it was before these round of caution flags started coming out. But, yeah, you're right. I think if this does turn into a long green flag run, I don't think that's what Aaron Gerwitz wants at all. I don't think he's going to have the fuel to stay on the same strategy possibly as the rest of the field. But so far, so good. Still in 3rd place out here tonight. So we'll go ahead and check out some other battles. Jacob Manning here trying to work on Dylan Patterson in the 8. Seth Reed moving by Patterson. Now Tristan Bailey starting to work here on Aaron Gerwitz. Aaron Gerwitz going to go ahead and lose another position. He's probably going to lose a couple here as he's got Reed, Patterson, and Manning bearing down on him as well.
Yeah, and Ed Shearer's moving up through the field too, up 11 positions. I haven't seen him the last few broadcasts. I don't think he was on track. So seeing him out here for tonight for Dover, and he's making his way through the field, he could be a challenger at the end of the night. I mean, you look at guys who've maybe not gotten the positions on pit strategy on older tires for the biggest movers, but you look at the guys who's the biggest movers on those tires, the fresh tires that they've had, and came through the field early on as well. Shearer's one of them. He's been moving through the field just as much as Seth Reed, just as much as a couple other drivers, and I think he could be somebody at the end of the night in the top 5.
Oh, it very much could be. You're not missing him out there on the track. He usually does not race here in the Xfinity Series, but coming out here tonight at Dover, wanting to go ahead and get a win here in the Xfinity Series. So Edgier making, I believe, his second appearance on the season. So taking a look here at Tyler Murray, who's starting to move his way back up through the fields, working on Robert Besaw here to move in to the top 15. And this is one of the guys that's on that line as far as the cut line goes when it comes to these individual team standings. So keep an eye on that ticker scrolling down there at the bottom. It has your whole top 20, and it's going to start really mattering here as the weeks tick off. We're already in week 9. Week 13 is the last week to do anything and make your way in, so keep an eye on some of these guys.
Yeah, and Ed Shear's name, I mean, I know it. I just can't think of his gamer tag from before. I know we raced with him.
Yeah.
Okay, I can't remember. I should have known. Yeah, I mean, I've raced with him a ton on console. I've raced with him sometimes over here on iRacing before in a couple different leagues. So it's nice to see him out on track tonight and making the most of it. But I'm kind of worried about Manning. I don't know what his strategy is. He was obviously quickest in practice. He got the pole, and he's just continued to kind of struggle. He hasn't really, made positions. He lost the lead early on. He went back to about 4th. Obviously, they just had a green flag or a caution come out, and they stopped. And he's only sitting 6th. So I don't know if his strategy is just conserving tire for long runs. If he's got a long run car and not a short run car, but I mean, he was fast. He got the pole, so clearly he's got the speed. But is his strategy just to save tire? We know Dover, shreds those tires on long runs, so we might see him come through later on in a long run, Greg. I really don't know what his strategy is. So.
I think that's what it is. I mean, honestly, he's only 1.2 seconds back, and the leader's still hanging on the back of that second pack of Patterson, Reed, and himself. I think Manny might be setting up for the long run here. Just hasn't had an opportunity to get many of them, so he's just lurking here, not too far back from our leader here, Joseph Causey. And this lead is about to heat up here between himself and his teammate and Tristan Bailey, all nose to tail heading down to turn 1. And that's going to slow these guys up even more, even though they don't need it. Seth Reed is now getting to be a part of this mix.
Yeah, I don't think they're wanting to see Seth Reed in their mirror. I'm sure some of them are running different widgets and apps on their screens to see, who's moving and who's coming through the field and who's where in the lineup still. And if anybody's paying attention to Reed, they're going to see that he's up 25 positions already, Greg. And that clearly means he's got the speed. And he posted in the chat earlier, like I told you, Greg, when we were on break, he ran a 4.84 in qualifying. He just tagged the wall, so it didn't count. Yep. That would have put him in second on the front row.
Oh, yeah. Seth Reed definitely looking to get his 3rd win of the season. Broke into the win column here in Season 3 and not satisfied with the 2 wins that he has already through 8 weeks. So looking very fast here tonight, starting to get up here with this top 3 battle. But, yeah, you mentioned one driver who was at plus 25 being Seth Reed. There's another one here with Josh Marcy having a fantastic night after starting in 33rd. So that number 35, Z Grills Toyota Supra, doing very well here in 8th place.
Yeah, Manning's starting to make a move. I just saw him. He's fighting with Dalen Patterson right now for 5th place. We're far enough into the run where these guys are on 28 lap tires now. Those guys that were, stayed out, they've fallen back. Gerwitz is back in 14th now after starting first after the restart. He's the first car on old tires, and then Spees has fallen all the way back to 25th. Besaw's back to 17th, so old tires are not really working out, but we're far enough into the run where the tires should start making a difference. If Jacob Manning has been conserving his tires, he should be able to start making runs now and start making moves to get to the front where he was when this race started.
Yeah, so the call to stay out not paying off for those guys as we are on the beginning part of the long green flag run potentially here. 30 laps into this one, just under 100 laps to go now. And this this battle for the front still heating up as Seth Berger still on the bumper of the 42. Tristan Bailey not gaining much ground besides where he was kind of starting to fizzle out as far as the gap goes. Maybe some of these guys just liking where they're at, like we said, maybe saving a little, seeing how this race is transitioning.
Yeah, and I mean, we can't say that the strategy called isn't going to work in the end. It's not working right now, but they did conserve an extra set of tires. So if this race gets real racy at the end, and cautions are coming out, they may be able to save that extra set of tires for a late race caution, and then be able to put fresh tires on when these other guys might not have any sets left, and be able to come through the field. We've seen Spees go from the back to the front, and he's not the biggest mover for no reason. I mean, he's up 16 positions on average every single race. So I don't think Kyle's out of this. I think we'll see him at the end come back up through and at least get into the top 10. But kind of struggling back there in 24th right now.
Yeah, he needs some help with a caution flag potentially, but still it's worth taking that risk with how the race was looking early on. 3 cautions in the first 20 laps or so. So why not take the opportunity to maybe get some track position, even though it didn't work out? Those are the moves you got to make your spot and claim your spot in these playoffs. So Tyler Murray here starting to fall back a little bit, still 16th, but got Besaw as well as Michael Larch here in that 52 out of JW Racing, starting to move his way up. Michael Larch making his way by Besaw, move him up into 17th. So JW not having the night that they want as far as a team night goes, with James Shanewolf and Matthew Robinson both 1 lap down. You got Jacob Manning there in 6th place. Drew Ballesteros in 11th after running up in the front, and then Michael Larch there in 17th. So maybe an opportunity for these tank racing guys who are running 1 and 2 here tonight, make up some serious ground on that number 1 seed here in the team championship standings.
Yeah, and I went back and looked at the start of the race, and Shane Wolf was not on track, so he missed the first few laps of the race, and that's what set him back. He started the race 7 laps down when he came out after that first caution. He's now up or down 6 laps, so he's made 1 back, but there's a bunch of guys out in front of him who are now a few laps down too, so he's going to have to pull a lot of different strategies of staying out and trying to collect that wave around to try to get even closer back to the lead lap, and that's going to be a really tough task at Dover, because we've seen cautions could come in a quick string, or we could go long green flag runs. I mean, we've been running now for 37 laps, yep. So it could be really tough for Shane Wolf to get back in lead lap, but there's still a lot of drivers out here that are part of JW Racing that are doing all right. You still got Ballesteros, who you picked tonight, still sitting 10th. I mean, he's still hovering right there. He's back 4 positions from the start of the race, though.
Yeah, and I have to imagine that Gerwitz as well as Spees, those 2 drivers who haven't pitted for the entirety of this race, are starting to sweat a little bit here. Already 60 laps completed this evening, and they've yet to make a pit stop to take some fuel. They're going to have to possibly make that move here soon. But if they can make it maybe another 20 or so laps to get to lap 80, they might be in the clear for a 1 stop into the end. So we'll see if it works out for them. But Gerwitz kind of settling in here at 15th. Still a good night for the 09 overall.
Yeah, I thought Manning was going to make the pass on Dillon, but he's kind of just stayed behind him. And they're kind of all just hovering right there around 1.5 seconds from 1st to 7th. 7th being Ed Shearer, 1st being Joseph Causey, all separated by 1.6 now. That's a really tight race for the top 6.
Yeah, it's almost like a super speedway with all of them in each other's draft pretty much. Now Dylan Patterson back there in 5th, pulling up to the bumper of the 81 there. Seth Reed almost. Yeah, these guys just kind of hanging out here. Like I said, they can tell when the whole feel of this race starts to transition into what might become a long green flag run, and saving tires here is going to be huge. It will kill your speed trying to get around these turns when you eat them up too much, and so far each of these guys doing a great job of showing they know just how to do it. So a few more laps before these lead lap cars here up front need to come down for some service to get them to the end of this thing. But don't want to take my eyes off this battle, because Tristan Bailey's starting to look like maybe he wants to make a move on that 2nd place car of Seth Berger, and that'll really put the heat on Joseph Causey there in the 42.
Yeah, Bailey, we were looking at before the race. I'm noticing the 77 of Berger. He's not staying right at the back bumper of Kazi, but Bailey's all over the back bumper of Berger. So Bailey looks to be a little faster maybe than the first two, but he's just not able to get around. This is a tough place to make passes, Greg. I don't know what he's going to be able to do besides maybe giving a little bit of a bump and run, that Martinsville-Richmond style of racing. But you got to be careful giving that bump on this track with the degrees of banking.
Yeah, I think it just might be a little bit too early for that move, which is exactly probably why we're seeing them run in each other's line pretty much. They're almost in each other's tire tracks, but this might be an opportunity here for Tristan going to the inside of a lap car. I thought Seth Berger sliding up a little bit there might have been able to give him a little bit of opportunity to roll the center a little bit better, but still just opts to hang out where he's at. All four of these top four cars nose to tail as they cross the stripe to start lap 68.
Yeah, and I'm noticing, and I was kind of wondering if these guys would drive the same way that I saw, the professionals on the weekend drive this track, where they kind of go in a little low, they diamond it, but they're not hard diming it. They're just sliding up just enough, maybe half to a car off the bottom, and then they're just rolling back down to the bottom line and coming out of the corner with as much speed as they can, where it shoots them down the straightaways. But this lap down car is in the way for these leaders right now, and it's kind of boggled them all up here.
Yeah, Seth Reed now taking a look to the inside of Tristan Bailey after he took a look to the inside of Seth Berger. Didn't complete that pass, killed his momentum on the exit there, gave Seth Reed an opportunity. And the same thing just happened to the 81 that you just spoke about. Very tough to pass here at Dover, especially when you get on these old tires. Tightens these things up, really does not make them friendly when you need it there on the exit of these turns. So got to be careful not to get in to your fellow competitors. These guys doing a great job of showing just that and all their skill out there tonight. Whoa, someone big time in the wall back there. I think it's one of the lap down cars we just saw.
Yeah, I think that was the car that was battling and kind of trying to not necessarily block or stay on the lead lap, I guess, but yeah, I think he got moved. I think Manning might have touched him a little bit and moved him up out of the way because he was kind of holding these guys up. And you don't want to get separation from the lead pack and try to have to run them back down here, because these guys are all running pretty close to identical times, and they're all over the back bumper of each other. So if you get any kind of separation and these guys in line pull away, it'll be tough to run them back down. So I think Manning just kind of said, hey, you're a lap down, you got a bunch of damage, just move out the way, and gave him a little love tap.
Yeah, you can see here on that blimp cam that line that you were talking about where they kind of diamond the turns a little bit. That's not the line I would probably do. Like I said all week, I like to run the bottom here, but maybe it's just something different here in the updates that they've put where it's really effective in these cars at Dover, because the leaders are just pulling away. I mean, yeah, the top seven, well, now really the top six as Shears starts to fall off the pace a little bit, all well within 1.3 seconds of each other. So they seem to be having the pace here. Whoa, and a lap car, that's Danny Dow, comes up in front of them. And that is going to shake things up again, not giving the entry to the 42 that Kazi would want, but still going to hold that gap now because the two behind him have that 21 to their outside. Got to be real careful here with lap traffic.
Yeah, I'm kind of surprised on some of the lap down cars we've seen that these guys come up on. They're not really giving way. They're kind of, I mean, I get it. You're running your line, and you expect the lead lap cars to see that you're running your line and choose another line, but at the same time, the lead lap cars are probably saying, hey, get off of the actual line that we need to run and run that high line and stay out of the way since you're so many laps down. But they are not doing that, and the 21 has actually fallen in between second and third now and is running in between Bailey and Berger, and I don't know if Bailey's going to accept the 21 sitting there.
Yeah, I don't know, but coming up here, crossing the line now to take halfway in this race, halfway done here tonight, almost wrapping up our week here at Dover, and it's getting heated up here at the front, mixing it up with the lead lap cars and lap down cars. Danny Down, like you said, that third car in line is a lap down, and it's kind of splitting this field up now. We saw all of them running nose to tail. Now Tristan Bailey losing some time on the top two.
Yeah, and the 21, even without the front bumper, seems to be able to stick right to the back bumper of Seth Berger, but Bailey's not able to get to him. It's like he's got to be off the throttle a little bit more, which is kind of surprising because of the 21 being able to run right on the back bumper of the 77 where Bailey was running. So I don't know if this is just causing a little bit of air disturbance for Bailey and he's just not able to maybe make a move, and he probably really wishes the 21 would just move up out of the way since he's a lap down, but not really pressuring him to move up out of the way. I mean, I don't know what it is on race chatter, but we could probably hear some chatter. I'd probably be requesting that lap down car to get out of the way. Lead lap cars are coming down pit road, Greg.
I'm sure there are some unhappy feelings out there as far as that goes. But yeah, 2 JBR cars, Nathan De La Rosa and Josh Marcy, both coming down pit road. Could very well start our cycle of green flag pit stops here shortly. So might bode well for the 09 and 25, who we saw stay out there to try and grab some track position. We'll see if it does work out for them. Actually, seeing Gerwitz pitted on lap 69, Kyle Spees pitting on lap 70. So that tells me that they are not going to probably be able to make it to the end in those 2 machines. They're going to need some help as far as caution flags go here tonight. Only 3 so far through 80 laps.
Yeah, and I was actually looking now. I thought maybe the 21 was 1 lap down, and maybe that's why he was trying to hover and stay up there with those front guys in case he could get his lap back. But he's actually 3 laps down, so being multiple laps down, that's one where I would definitely be screaming at the guy saying, hey, get out of the way, you're multiple laps down. If he was 1 lap down, I could maybe consider saying, you know, all right, you're 1 lap down, you're really trying to fight to get on your lead lap, or to stay the first car a lap down to get that lucky dog. But he's kind of far enough back to where I would probably say move.
Well, still really not impeding anybody's progress right now. That's Aaron Gerwitz going to the outside of his Phoenix Virtual Racing teammate there.
He's on fresh tires.
Yeah, he is on much fresher tires than these leaders, and you can tell it by the pace that he's setting here. Trying to unlap himself, sitting 2 laps down currently. That is dangerous territory to be in when you pit here under green flag at Dover. You are going to lose 2 laps. Say caution does come out. You are not going to get that lead lap back. Even if you do get a wave around, you're still going to be 1 down. So he is trying desperately to unlap himself. Now to the outside of Causey. It's going to go on by, and I believe he will clear the 42 right here.
There's another one there too, that bright green, red, and black car. He's on fresh tires too, as another car gets loose out in front of the leaders.
That's Taylor Smith
goes into
there,
the
yeah.
wall. Whew, that was close.
Yeah,
Good thing he didn't bounce it and come back up.
No kidding. Yeah, Taylor Smith there. Trying to see, he's running 22nd there in the 24 machine. So got a battle for the lead now. Seth Berger taking a look to the inside of the 42 here. Teammates no more. It is on for the lead here. Seth Berger going to make the pass and take the lead from his tank racing teammate. New leader, that Bergart's number 77.
And Bailey's going to look to try to get below the 42 and try to make a pass on him. That 21's still up here battling with the leaders. Kazi now able to get by. Bailey now going to try to get by him as well and get right back to these leaders to try to put pressure on him. We're also seeing Seth Reed still sitting there right behind Bailey as well.
Kazi like this.
That's I'd be very kind of frustrated if I was a lead lap car battling a car that's 3 laps down, door to door coming off of the corner on Dover.
Yeah.
When he gets into the wall.
Yep, and that's exactly why we don't like when we have lap down cars. Like you said, multiple lap down cars. It's one thing if you're 1 lap down to be battling right there with the leaders, but it's all it takes is to get into the wall like you just saw Danny Down. Luckily, nobody around him when he did it, because that could have really hurt someone's night running up in the front. So checking in, Seth Berger checking out already to a 0.6 of a second gap over his teammate there in the 42. Seth Berger feeling good here, as we're just waiting to see when he decides to come on down pit road. Got Michael Larch coming in as well as his teammate Drew Ballesteros already on pit road. Looking like this is a full JW stop with James Shamewolf there as well.
We saw Spees and Gerwitz come down, 69, 70 laps, but they also had pace laps, so they were able to save a little bit of fuel under those pace laps. So we should be getting real close to the guys running full speed. 65 laps now as this green flag run goes. I would have to say they're going to be pitting within the next 5 laps for sure, but I would not be surprised if these guys don't come down this time.
Seeing Tristan Bailey getting on by, I believe Joseph Causey coming down pit road
here
as
comes
well.
sliding.
And Manny
I
not
don't
going
know
to
if
make it. He's stuck in the
Oh.
water barrels.
That's probably going to bring out a caution if he backs out onto the track. He's trying to keep it down on the apron. I will say that's a pretty respectable move because he could have just backed it up onto the concrete and thrown the caution himself. But he just backed it off the wall just a little bit just to make the move around and did not bring out the caution.
Man, not going the way they wanted it for JW Racing here tonight. This was their best shot so far, is getting a win here at Dover. Jacob Manny going to lose significant time after hitting the water barrel. Is going to try it again here. Take number 2 coming down pit road, and this is by far, in my opinion, one of, if not the hardest entry in the NASCAR circuit.
Oh, absolutely, I agree. This it's so hard to get slowed up and get onto pit road without spinning it, without just burning off or going to a 4-tire slide. It's really hard here, and I mean I've definitely made my mistakes on pit entry, so it's not a surprise that one or multiple guys could have issues trying to get on this.
Whoa, that was a dicey moment there with Dylan Patterson and James Shanewolf. Dylan Patterson, our leader at the moment, he pitted a little bit earlier than the rest of the leaders. I believe, I'm trying to see exactly how many laps. I believe it was 8 laps. Yeah, so that's going to be almost what we saw, the difference where with a few of the guys that pitted there on lap 14 as opposed to some of the guys that pitted on lap 23 between those second and third cautions. So he's got a nice little
about
gap.
9 laps after him, so you can see the difference right there.
Yeah, and I mean, Seth Berger finds himself back in 6th, so he's still got a few spots to get up there. And as we've seen all night, not easy by any means to pass these cars. He's 13 seconds back. That's a long way to go when these tires start to normalize, or excuse me, equalize and start to wear out. So might be a race-winning move here for the 8 of Dylan Patterson.
Yeah, I'm also seeing Aaron Gerwitz up into 3rd. He's 23 laps since he pitted, and then Kyle Spee's 22 laps since he pitted, and he's up to 7th. So we talked about that strategy not really working out for those guys on these long green flag runs, but I said they could still be here at the end. If we still continue to go green, that strategy could work out to where, the next time these guys have to pit, it could be real close. Some of these guys just now pitting, though, they're very close to being on the edge of making it all the way.
Yeah, and it's going to be interesting to see how this works out. Lots of gaps out there on the track right now. Dylan Patterson with a 7-second lead over Logan Truitt here in the 91. So good to see Dylan back out in front, racing with him last season. I am not surprised by any means to see this 8 out in front here at Dover. I believe he almost won, if not won, here last season. I am not good at remembering those things, but I just know that 8 was very fast here at Dover Motor Speedway. So could pay off. Still growing that lead over Logan Truitt. The only one that's going to be gaining on him is Seth Berger, now up to 5th, but 12.5 seconds back.
Yeah, and I'm probably going to take the hits from the team of JW Racing, since I said I predicted maybe one of the JW Racing guys would be the winner tonight. So probably going to take a hit from them when they go back and rewatch this, since I kind of picked all of them as saying one of them was going to win. But I also noticed now our leader, Joseph Kazi, he's back in 21st, a lap down. So he had a problem either getting onto pit road or getting off of pit road, because his pit stop time is a 14.8. So that's not, terrible or nothing, but he's way back behind the guys he was running with. Seth Reed, obviously up to 9th now. Drew Ballesteros up to 7th. Seth Berger back up to 4th. He had something happen, and I really don't know what happened to him, but he's in trouble right now.
I'm going to just go ahead and assume it was a black flag. Like I said, one of the harder pit entries on the circuit. A lot of these guys try and get everything that they can when coming onto pit road, and 35 miles an hour is very hard to back these stock cars down to here at Dover. So not for sure if it was a black flag, but yeah, right.
Manning did.
Yeah, he definitely lost a lot of time. Manning now back in 26th
Same with
position.
Bailey too.
Yeah, so Manning and Bailey running 26th and 27th. Working their way by Ben Park there. Yeah, tough break for two of the guys that were running in the top 5 tonight, man. Crazy.
And when we talked about that earlier with Bailey, I mean, we both saw him in practice. He was running really nice laps. He was running pretty fast laps. But, you know, we mentioned he's had some struggles the past
Yellow
few weeks.
flag,
And we got a
Jacob
caution on the
Manning.
track. This is going to bring a lot of guys back into the fold. And does Kazi or any of these guys who are one lap down right now, do they come or do they stay out and try to get that wave around? And do any of the guys who just pitted actually go down pit road?
Yeah, seeing Jacob Manning going backwards down the backstretch.
That's what we were
here.
just talking about, too. 3 laps down. Reverse is not the way to go around this track.
Not sure if that's by design, but we're going to go ahead and take a look at the Sparkle and Shine mobile detailing wreck replay here. This is the 50 just outside the 80 to Tristan Bailey. Coming up on that lap car, 21 to Danny down. It just makes it real narrow. Big crash there for the 21 to 50. See Marcy involved too. That was him that just went by there.
Yeah, we saw that earlier with the 21. He was racing really hard with the lead lap cars. And I guess it doesn't matter if you're a lead lap car or a lap down car for the 21. He's going to race you hard. I'm going to start calling him Ryan Newman because he seems to be racing it. Whoa, yeah, Marcy did not see the 21 coming back up the track. That's kind of surprising that he was coming back up the track, Greg, because I was just saying earlier, it's always that you slide down the track at Dover because of the banking. So to come up the track, he had to have been going in reverse. So I don't know why the 35 wouldn't have seen him ahead of time or been slowed down since the caution was already out.
Well, I think he had chosen his line already there, and for some reason the 21 still backing up this track here with traffic coming at him. Yeah, not a big fan of that move by any means. That was a fast car there in the 35 machine, and I believe that's going to be it for Marcy here tonight. So unfortunate break for him. Take a look at Jacob Manning's car right there on your screen. Not looking good there either. Jack Hedgecock's now the race leader as we got some people coming down pit road, possibly try to make this thing to the end.
Greg, this is a huge benefit for the guys we were just talking about. Kyle Spies and Aaron Gerwitz, who, you know, struggled on those old tires and fell all the way back to the mid-teens or, you know, lower 20s. And they're going to be the ones still on the lead lap compared to some of these other guys that were running up front that had issues on pit road that are now sitting a lap or two back or a lap or two down. They're going to be in the top 10, both of them.
Yeah, so you see it there. The caution going to go to the 50 of Jacob Manning, getting the EOL penalty there. So that coming from our race admins. Taking a look there at our race leader, though, Jack Hedgecock's looking to get his first win on the season. Dylan Patterson just behind him in that AC Delco throwback paint scheme in second. Seth Berger there in third, who I really believe this was a godsend for. Stayed out possibly too long on those old tires. I wasn't sure if he was going to make that gap up by the end of this thing. Now back up in the third, right on the tail of the front row. Logan Truitt there in fourth place in that 91 kind of a Interstate Batteries throwback. I believe that's what Ty Gibbs is going to be running this season.
That's definitely an Interstate Batteries throwback.
Drew
That is definitely a
Ballesteros.
Bobby Labonte old school paint scheme.
Yeah, for sure. Drew Ballesteros there in fifth place. Aaron Gerwitz there in sixth place. And you got Seth Reed now back in the seventh position. Max Service having a very good night in eighth. And Kyle Spies up to 21 positions from where he started in ninth place. And then you got Ed Shearer to his outside. That's going to be your top 10. 15 cars on the lead lap. The first one lap down, is going to be that 42 of Joseph Causey. So keep an eye on him. If he gets one more caution here and gets on the lead lap, he is going to be one to keep an eye on his quest back to the front.
Yeah, him and Siegfried. I mean, Siegfried was battling up here within the top 5 at one point. So those two are going to be starting right next to each other. Who's going to try to battle it out for that lucky dog? I think Kazi's probably the faster of the two, but, you know, traffic really plays a part when you're back into the field here. So, Kazi could get hung up behind a car, and Siegfried could make the pass, which would, delay Kazi from getting on the lead lap.
Yeah, very well could. It's going to really get dicey here with 46 laps to go. That's Silverback Tag Solutions green flag out. Jack Hedgecock's not wasting any time getting this thing back underway. Gets about 3, 4, 5 car lengths from him on back to second there.
Yeah, and Hedgecock, he's going to need to just go because he's on 18-lap old tires. He's pulling the same strategy that Spies and Gerwitz pulled earlier. I don't know if it's too late in the race, I would think, to pull this strategy, but I don't know I think he was in one of the cautions early on, so he may have used an extra set early on in the race in one of those cautions, and he's just trying to get back on the same strategy as everybody else with the same amount of tires.
Well, he's loving what he's seeing in his rearview mirror. These two, the 8 and the 77, both pitted on this last yellow, so they both have fresh tires and are battling hard for this second position to possibly make a run at Jack Hedgecock's. Looks like Dylan going to pull out that second position now. Going to set his sights on the 43 of Hedgecock's because you're right, 14-lap fresher tires. We saw it happen earlier. Is going to be a big detriment to the speed in that 43. So we'll see how long he's able to hold on for here.
Yeah, you can see the 8 and the 77, also the 54, are able just to really ride that bottom line, and it's allowing them to get underneath the lead lap car, or the leader right now, the 43 of Jake Hedgecock, and you see the 8 now make the pass and make the move, and now you're going to see the 43 maybe kind of become a rolling roadblock for a lot of these lead lap cars on fresh tires to try to get by him. We saw some of the other guys be able to hold their position, or at least fight for position, for at least 10 laps, and then they fell all the way down the line. So how long before the 43 is going to have to come down pit road?
Yeah, he's going to try and get down to the bottom, even though he can't really do that on the set of tires he's got. Yeah, so Ballestero is going to get a good run. He's going to take a look to the inside here. Not going to have the position. Oh, and the 91 getting turned behind him.
Gotta go round. And that's exactly what the 43 was looking for. Ooh, that's going to be bad for those guys. But Jack Hedgecock going to be just thanking his lucky stars for that one.
So gonna ride along with Max Service here in the 89. We saw Logan Truitt get a little tap from Seth Reed right there, and then Reed comes down to the 89. The 89 gets turned around. Big damage for the 81. I believe that's Aaron Gerwitz sliding down to the apron there at 09 as well.
Stayed off the wall, though.
Yeah, he did, but not going to keep the position that he had out there on the track, and points going to be very vital here tonight here at the Monster Mile, especially with a lot of these guys one lap down, and looking like Joseph Kazi is going to get that lucky dog.
The lucky Joseph Kazi got what he wanted. That's going to put him back on the lead lap. 16 cars on the lead lap, unless there's going to be a few cars to take waiver rounds if all the lead lap cars pit, and I don't think they will because most of them just pitted. So some of them were just involved with this incident here, so they're probably going to have to come down, but I don't expect the rest of the lead lap cars to come down this early into this run.
Look at Aaron Gerwitz get through the initial spin here and barely gets a tap from the 81. No further damage to the 09 except the damage done as far as his standings as they lie. Right now he's back, going to go back probably to maybe 11th or 12th position. We will see out here alive, and yeah, he is currently on pit road in 13th position, so going to lose some spots there. Race Admin's putting that one on Netcode, so unfortunately Netcode rearing its ugly head here tonight.
I'd have to take a second look at that one because I didn't see Netcode on that one. I saw a clear bump, but maybe they see a little something different. But I mean, 16 laps or 16 lead lap cars. It's not going to be that big of a deal for Gerwitz to go to the back. We've seen him be on different strategy. He's going to be on fresher tires again. We saw what 8 laps did for some of these guys when we'd had green flag stops. So him starting back there, there's going to be a few others that went with him. Logan Truitt, Max Service, Brandon Domague, Tyler Murray, Sylvia, Shearer. They all went down pit road. So that's going to be 5 or 6 cars that are going to be on fresher tires than the front guys, which are now on 11-lap older tires. And Hedgecock did not come down pit road. I thought this would be a blessing for him to go down and be able to get those fresher tires. But he stayed out.
Yeah,
25 lap old tires, Greg.
probably wasn't certain if he would have many takers, and he did have quite a few. Brandon Domain, the first one to come out with those fresh tires. He's back there in the 6th position, so keep an eye on him. He is actually in 7th, but going to be sitting pretty with a few lap fresher tires. That could be boding well for this 20 here tonight. But we're going to go ahead, step aside while we have a few seconds to do so, run another quick commercial break. We will be right back for the 6th restart of the night.
Want to be a part of an established league on iRacing? A league that's competitive, fun, and above all fair? Look no further than Speed Racing Network. Originally known as Mid-South Madness, SRN has evolved into a league that can bring the best out in any given driver. Drivers work their way up through the ranks to hopefully one day call themselves a champion of Speed Racing Network. If you're interested in joining, don't hesitate to reach out to league admins to claim your spot today. Maybe you'll end up in the history books. If you're interested in becoming a sponsor in Speed Racing Network, feel free to head over to www.speedracingnetwork.com and reach out to an admin today. And as always, remember to go faster.
Silverback Tax Solutions specializes in dealing with IRS tax problems. If you are receiving threatening letters from the IRS, or if the IRS has placed liens or levies on your property, Silverback Tax Solutions can help you find relief. We have worked with hundreds of people to resolve their tax problems. If you're behind on filing your taxes, it's never too late to get on the right track. Silverback Tax Solutions can help with that also. Don't let another night go by where you lose sleep worrying about the IRS or your taxes. Head over to www.silverbacktacks.com or call 662-996-4357 and contact an enrolled agent today. We can help you gain peace of mind and deal with those problems for you.
All right, back out here for the 6th restart of the night. The Silverback Tax Solutions green flag waving, and those older tires not happy on the restart. You saw them shake there. That was their tires spinning there. Could be a really dicey moment for the rest of the field, but Patterson gets out to a decent start there. Jack Hedgecock's now to the inside of Seth Berger. Oh, yeah, Berger into the wall!
Berger and Hedgecock got into it. That's going to take the whole front field. Oof. That's going to be a bad wreck for the front.
Wow, a real scary moment for a lot of these guys out here. Middle of the pack. Never what you want to see when the leaders are wrecking, because that is a lot of dodging cars here at the Monster Mile. Let's check out another Sparkle and Shine mobile detailing wreck replay. Let's go on top of the 77 from the far chase cam here. Yeah, so the 77 getting a little help from the 43 maybe there. Go ahead.
Yeah, 43 definitely slid up the track a little bit. That's what I was worried with those old tires. You can't run the bottom line. It won't. It just doesn't stick. So you start fading to the high line, and if there's a guy to your outside, it gets super sketchy, and that's what just happened. So
wow, that is
I'm
some
not
of the
surprised.
Worst netcode that I've seen, catching Drew Ballesteros right there. And then
look at the
66
go through
yeah.
the 77.
Unfortunate, though. I believe De La Rosa got some damage from that after a great run here tonight in that 66. And then just ping-ponging off of all these cars. Another JBR car there, this 36 of Nathan Sylvia, catching a little bit of that one as well. So tough break for a lot of our front runners here tonight, and big time damage there for the 77. But you heard it there from the race admins. That one going to go to Jack Hedgecock in the 43. He's getting that EOL penalty and a little bit of damage repair on pit road as well. So the 43 going to be in tough shape to come away with a win this evening.
Yeah, I really think Jack should have came down pit road there. 25 lap old tires. I mean, we still have a good amount of laps. He could have pitted and been good to the end, and just made track position towards the end if we would have had cautions. But looking at the front three here, no hoods. So this is going to get interesting with some guys able to go down and get tires and everything. Murray starting fourth right now. He's going to be 6-lap old tires, but he's got his hood. He doesn't have any damage from what I can tell. So that's 66 and 54 of Drew Ballesteros is going to be kind of a wedge between Dylan Patterson and these other guys on fresher tires.
Yeah, Tyler Murray maybe potentially staring down his first win of the season, like you said, on fresh tires, up 20 positions on the night, and currently is your butt kicker, hard charger of this evening's race. So congrats to him to this point. Sets himself up in a good position to potentially make some moves here. And then Brandon Domain got by that big wreck for once, and he's probably counting his blessings a little bit. Knows he does have some bad luck when it comes to that, but snuck by that one. 20 up into the top 5. So doing great so far. Dylan Patterson still out in front of this thing. I have no idea what to expect here. Like you said, we've got some damaged cars up front with the 54 and the 66. We've got drivers that haven't been up front all night now making their way up, sitting pretty with the strategy that they're on with fresh tires. And then you got people like Dylan Patterson and Drew Ballesteros on older tires who have been to victory lane before, looking to make their way back. So all kinds of storylines unfolding.
Yeah, the fourth on back are going to be on 7-lap old tires, but De La Rosa's on 15-lap old tires, Ballesteros 16-lap old tires, and then Patterson, your leader, clean car, but on 17-lap old tires now. I really think fourth place with Murray, he's going to really try to have to work through these two cars without hoods to try to get to Dylan and not let Dylan get away. Dylan's been really fast tonight. He's been running some really, really fast laps. I think he actually holds the fast lap tonight, if I'm not mistaken. Nope, sorry, Tristan Bailey does.
Yeah, Bailey still a lap down back there in 21st. But, yeah, trying to catch up. Joseph Causey now up to 12 after getting his lap back and getting by that last incident. So the 42 hoping maybe for another one, maybe a 7th caution to get maybe a few more positions and then make a run of this thing with the speed that he has in that 42. So curious to know, does the 16 know? Does the 20 know? Does that 97 of Ed Shearer know that these second and third place cars have no hoods? So we'll find out and see just how long they hang out behind them. But that Silverback Tax Solutions green flag is back out here in a hurry. Dylan Patterson wasting absolutely no time.
Yeah, there's a lot of cars up here with damage. You got the 36 back there with no front bumper. The car next to him has a bunch of dents in it as well. Front end is damaged as well. I see Spees' grandmother out there. She's asking where Spees is. He is back in 13th. He was just involved in that one, got some damage. He has some back rear end damage and a little bit of front nose damage on the left, but still looking pretty good back there.
Yeah, battling with Robert Beasall. Beasall taking a look to the inside there. The 25 going to hold on to that position. But back out front, Patterson getting a big, healthy gap between him and those second and third place cars, the 66, 54, with heavy damage. Shearer makes his way on by the 20 of Brandon Domain. And we got an all-out battle here, a sprint to the end with 30 laps to go.
Yeah, Shearer's coming. He made it to where he was able to launch off the corner and get underneath De La Rosa, who has no hood. So he's cleared one of them. Now he's got Drew Ballesteros, who's been up here in the top 10 most of the night until we got involved in that incident there. He looks underneath. He's going to make that pass as well. Driving that 97, looking like Kurt Busch out here.
Yeah, so Shearer up into the second position, moved Ballesteros back to third. Now he's under attack from the 16 of Tyler Murray. Got a little thrown off there. I almost said Dale Earnhardt Jr. because of the throwback. And saw a very cool win after 9/11 in that paint scheme. Wow, Brandon Domain gets a little tap there from the 16. That's going to give Max Service a look to the inside. So Brandon Domain drop him back to 6th. And now move Tyler Murray on by the 16.
Don't look now, but Causey's coming.
Yeah, Causey's making his way by the 20 of Brandon Domain. So all kinds of shuffling back here as these guys that were once up to the front now have a second life here and are not wasting it, I should say, making their way up to the front in a hurry.
Yeah, and Causey, I mean, he's going to be on 12-lap fresher tires than the leaders. He's been super fast tonight. I'm sure he's mad at himself at whatever happened on pit road that made him go an extra lap down. He fought his way back. He got the lucky dog. And now he's right here in the top 6. We get another caution here, and Kazi could be, working his way on the leaders, especially with some of these guys. Oh, Drew Ballesteros going around.
Gets
and
loose on the front stretch, and nowhere for De La Rosa to go. Deutscher and Michael Larch also involved. The 51 of Robinson back there spinning 2. The 7th caution causing 3 JW Racing cars to get a little bit of that one.
I might have spawned that one. I just said about Kazi. If he got another caution, we might see him fighting the leaders. But that was a close one.
Yeah, we're going to take a look from the blimp cam here of the 44. Might have got a little tap that's just close racing between him and the 20, and ultimately sends the 54 around. Shane Wolf almost got a piece of his teammate there too. Let's take another look at that one. I want to ride on board the hood or the roof there of that 53 because that was close. Ooh. God, he got skinny real quick.
I think he might have touched the wall just a little bit.
He did. I think he tapped it just a hair. I could hear it. But, yeah, that almost got 4 of the JW cars there. But want to take one more look at it to see if there was contact potentially. And they are going to put that one on Brandon Domain. Just really tight racing. Man.
I mean, the 54 had him pinched down the line, so I mean,
he did.
It's hard to hold that position, even on fresh tires or old tires. It doesn't matter. It's really hard to hold that bottom, especially when you're being pinched. And Drew on old tires, no hood, had some other damage. He really pinched the 20 down on the bottom and gave him no room other than to let off. I think that's more of a racing deal in my opinion, but I can definitely see both ways on that.
Yeah, I'm going to have to respectfully agree with you as well. It was just tight racing there, and Ballesteros, I don't think, in my opinion, either gave him a lot of room to work with, so not surprised that he got touched there. So tough break. Going to have to disagree with the admins on that one, but that is why I'm up here in the booth.
Yeah,
we'll see.
That's why we don't race.
Yeah, we'll see if it's a good thing for this 20. Maybe with all the racing that we've seen happen here lately, nobody is safe anywhere on this track.
Yeah, I'm noticing Kazi's still sitting in there in 6th, but De La Rosa's in pit road, so that's going to move him to the 5. But Hedgecock's coming back through as well. He just pitted, so 5th on back is going to be on fresh tires.
Yeah, so Seth Reed,
3rd on back.
Yeah, Seth Reed is up to 1st, plus 28 on the evening. And
got no back bumper.
Yeah, not going to matter, I don't think. Josh Siegfried there in the 2nd position. And then
Brooke Lemke was just asking about the 16. I hadn't got around to it.
Yep.
And then we had that caution. So your boy Josh up to 2nd.
Yeah, Joseph Causey now there in 3rd. Look out for him. Him and the 81 both very fast here tonight.
Still a clean car, too. I don't know how he's been able to avoid all these wrecks.
Well, I don't know how this 36 is up to 4th with how damaged that car is, but he's there running really well here tonight for Jonathan Bayer Racing. Then Ed Shearer going to round out that top 5. You got Dylan Patterson back here in the 6th position after leading a few laps here this evening. Tyler Murray now in 7th after coming down pit road. Max Service in 8th place. And then Aaron Gerwitz there in the 9th position. And Brandon Richardson making his first appearance in the top 10 here this evening. So shaking up the list as we have it, each caution that we get, because like I just said, happening all over the track, not just in the back of the pack, the front. The race leaders are getting into a little bit of trouble out here, and it's really shaking things up.
Yeah, and with 22 to go, it's only going to get more intense. You're going to have a lot of guys back here who have a little damage, and you're going to have only a minimal amount of cars without damage. And they just came down and got fresh tires. So Kazi on fresh tires, he was the fastest car. He led a bunch of laps. He started 2nd on the outside row on the front row. he's going to be behind two guys on older tires, both with a little bit of damage. Reed was involved in that wreck that with the pinball, and he's got no back bumper. So Kazi's going to start right of the back bumper up, or the back side of the 81, because he does not have a back bumper. So where does Kazi go when this starts?
Oh, I don't know, but something tells me we might see some three-wide
racing
for that lead. So we'll see. We're going to take that green with 21 to go. Like you said, pace car peels off. We'll see when set 3 decides to go, and he wastes no time, catches the field sleeping and pulling big gaps between him and Josh Siegfried. But Kazi going to go right to second place.
Kazi so much more than anybody, because Reed got out there so far, Kazi had nobody in front of him to battle with that 60, so he was able to get underneath the 60 and continue it. But look at these guys dicing back here. The 8 trying to get around the 36. Now the 97 of Shear also trying to get around the 36. Ooh. All of them are just stuck behind the 36 right now.
Yeah, so that was Max Service who got into the wall there in that yellow and black 89, but not affecting him as he's taking a look to that very damaged 36, going right on by him. Now, and they get into it back there. The 36 and the 89 make contact. Stay going forward, no caution.
Oh, there it is. The 20 involved
Brandon Domain, just like that, after a top 5 night potentially. Big time damage for that grid finder number 20. Let's go ahead. Cue up that Sparkle and Shine mobile detailing wreck replay. See exactly what happened here. Looks like him and James Shamewolf were battling.
This probably is just a chain reaction from the guys in the walls. Oh, never mind.
Huh. Not sure if there was a checkup in front of him that forced.
Might need a double look at that one.
Yeah.
You might have to go inside the 53 to hear if he lifted or inside the 20. Oh yeah, he definitely let off.
Yeah, just was trying to go below the 13. Maybe second guessed himself after he saw the 53 making a move to the inside.
It went high.
Trying to get a good look at what happened to the 13. Just got loose maybe. Or just not big speed, not as much speed as these guys coming off the turn, and just forced them down there.
I'm wondering if the 13 saw the guys on the outside of the wall and lifted to try to preemptively lift and slow down before anything else, because we've seen, like I said at the beginning of this whole broadcast, this track is not very wide. So if one car gets turned and starts bouncing all over the place or spinning on track like we saw earlier with the 77, there's so many guys who can get involved in this, because one car spinning from top to bottom or back into the middle, there's nowhere to go. So I don't know if maybe the 13 saw the two guys on the outside of the wall and just thought, well, maybe I'll let off a little early, and the other guys did not.
Well, with 18 laps to go and our 8th caution of the night, we're going to go ahead and step aside one more time before we take this thing all the way to the end. We will be right back. Don't go anywhere.
With the Butt Kicker Gamer 2, what you see and what you hear is what you feel. Butt Kicker. The future is feeling.
Silverback Tax Solutions specializes in dealing with IRS tax problems. If you are receiving threatening letters from the IRS, or if the IRS has placed liens or levies on your property, Silverback Tax Solutions can help you find relief. We have worked with hundreds of people to resolve their tax problems. If you're behind on filing your taxes, it's never too late to get on the right track. Silverback Tax Solutions can help with that also. Don't let another night go by where you lose sleep worrying about the IRS or your taxes. Head over to www.silverbacktx.com or call 662-996-4357 and contact an enrolled agent today. We can help you gain peace of mind and deal with those problems for you.
Want to be a part of an established league on iRacing? A league that's competitive, fun, and above all fair, look no further than Speed Racing Network. Originally known as Mid-South Madness, SRN has evolved into a league that can bring the best out in any given driver. Drivers work their way up through the ranks to hopefully one day call themselves a champion of Speed Racing Network. If you're interested in joining, don't hesitate to reach out to league admins to claim your spot today. Maybe you'll end up in the history books. If you're interested in becoming a sponsor in Speed Racing Network, feel free to head over to www.speedracingnetwork.com and reach out to an admin today. And as always, remember to go faster.
All right, pace car lights are off with 15 laps to go. Once we get this thing green, I believe Michael.
Somebody just spun under caution.
Yeah, he's not having
48.
the night. 46, yeah, back there. Not having the night he wants so far. Getting a little damage under yellow. So pace car lights are back on after that happens. Not going green this time by a little bit of a tease for y'all out there.
Yeah, this is not what the rest of the field probably was looking for Kazi to be out front. Seth Reed has been really fast, made up a lot of positions, up 27 positions tonight, but no back bumper on that 81. 42 still clean. The 60 of Siegfried looks pretty clean too, sitting third. They're on older tires though compared to Kazi.
Yeah, I think you couldn't have worded it any better. Kazi's biggest competitor, I think, is going to be that 8 there of Dylan Patterson, who's going to be restarting in 4th and going to be really aggressive here on this restart, I think, with that damaged 81. Now the front end of that 81 not damaged, but the rear, which is what Dylan Patterson sees, is damaged. So his assumptions right now is that 81 is not going to be as fast as him. So we'll see if he's able to get a good jump here. But don't take your eyes off that 97 of Ed Shearer restarting there on the inside of row number 3 as well. He is very much a contender to steal this thing away from the rest of these guys as well.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised to see the 97 try to make a move if the 60 and 8 get side by side. If the 8's not able to get by the 60 or the 81 here, I would definitely see the 19 try to capitalize on these guys. But that's going to allow Kazi to get away.
Yeah, Kazi got a pretty good jump there on the field. A lot of these guys have been – it's a tough spot. I'm not going to say falling asleep on the restart because that is a tough spot right there on the track where that restart zone is to really smash the gas. So you got to be careful. We've seen some people – spinning the tires here on restarts, and that's exactly why. But the leader can definitely take advantage of the rest of the field in that regard. He knows when he's going, and it pays off big time for that Boss Security number 42 out of Tank Racing. Takes the stripe. 13 laps to go here at Dover.
Yeah, Kazi's running away. Seth Reed's going to try to run him down, but I don't think he can get to him. Dylan Patterson and Shearer, probably the two that could. They're on the same tire schedule or strategy as Kazi is, but we've seen these older tires be able to hold guys off for at least 5 to 10 laps. And at this point, if it goes green the rest of the way, Kazi will be far enough out front. I don't think Patterson or Shearer can run him down if they do get by these two.
He's got to be careful there. Got a little bit of the apron. Oh, they get really close, and Big Netcoat sends the 60 hard into the wall. That's going to be another caution here tonight, and a big one parking lot back here.
Yeah, this is not going to be good.
That was probably some of the worst netcode I think we're going to ever see right here. It threw
60 jump.
That 60 into the fence there. We're going to find out for sure here with another Sparkle and Shine Mobile Detailing Rec Replay. Yep.
Yeah, you could see it pushing the 60 off before he even got to him.
And nowhere for any of these guys to go. Some of them
the
not slowing down at all.
This looks like the Xfinity race at Martinsville a couple weeks ago in real life where they had a giant parking lot.
See if we can go ahead. I want to see this because I don't think the 53 here of Shane will really slow down at all. Which is kind of crazy when you see all the carnage happening in front here. Comes off in turn number 2, sees a bunch of smoke.
Gain as many positions as you can before the yellow comes out.
Wow, that is some serious confidence in your ability to navigate some accidents out there on the track. And unfortunately, being a lap down, or a few laps down actually,
12 laps down.
not going to make up any positions from that move. So still keeping that 53 headed in the right direction. But big time damage for a lot of these cars out here. A lot of them running up towards the front of this thing.
Yeah, unfortunately, that's going to take out the second Kyle that I had picked tonight. It's going to put him, that's his, I think, second or third caution he's been involved in. I think that's going to probably be the end of the night for him on that one. But I'm still looking up here at the front. Patterson now going to start third right behind Kazi. Unless Kazi, can they switch lanes at the front row?
Yes, they can, yep.
Okay, so Kazi could take the outside row. I would actually probably prefer the outside row from the front row if I could. To get that real launch. I mean, he's already launching off the corner anyways, but launching off the top line, I think, is the better choice. We saw it happen in real life all the time where they started on that outside line at Dover to try to get that launch downhill, coming off the 27-degree banking to go all the way down to the 9-degree banking. It really launches the car off the corner, and he's already the leader, so he's already going to choose when the field goes, and we've already seen the rest of the field, kind of taking a nap back there as the leader leaves.
Yeah, it's not, like I said, even like they're taking a nap, just really hard coming out of a turn like that to get on the gas where they are. A lot of these guys not able to put the gas to the pedal or the floor, excuse me. Trying to say two things at once. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, the leader can really get an advantage from restarting in first gear because they don't have to smash the gas. They know when they're going, a lot of these other guys are going to be in second gear on that restart, which is why we're seeing this 42 get some good jumps on the rest of the field. But 9 to go. Let's go ahead, run through your top 10. There he is, Joseph Kazi, your current leader here tonight. Looks like he might be showing that he might take that high line, like you said. So set 3 going to be down there in second place. And you got Dylan Patterson back here in third. Ed Shearer going to be in fourth place. Max Service now up in the top 5. Robert Besaw quietly in sixth place. Nathan Sylvia there in 7th. Jack Hedgecock's now back up to 8th place. Then you got James Kerr having a very solid night there in that 75 Black Acid Toyota Supra out of Jonathan Byer Racing. He's plus 17 on the night, up to 9th place. And then Aaron Gerwitz going to round out the top 10. So looks like we only have 13 cars on the lead lap, so we'll just go through the rest. Brandon Domain, he's going to be back here in 11th, well, actually 12th, kind of getting thrown off here from where everybody's running. Looks like there's some sort of shake-up. So, yeah, Brandon Domain going to be in 11th now. He's going to go down to the bottom lane there, put Nathan De La Rosa there in 12th. And then you got Brandon Richardson there in 13th. So that's your lead lap cars here with 8 laps to go. Pretty much a survival of the fittest here tonight at the Monster Mile.
Greg, I think that was a super smart move by the 42. I'm hoping maybe he heard me say it because that puts him in front of the 97 of Shear instead of in front of the 8. That's going to make the 8 battle with the 81, and the 81 can still battle with the 97 and the 8, which will cause Kazi to get even better of a launch and get away from everybody with the 81 then battling.
Well, the Silverback Tag Solutions green flag waving for the 10th time here tonight with 7 laps to go. Kazi gets a good jump, brings Ed Shearer with him, but these two no longer tank racing teammates. There is going to be a big-time battle brewing here up front with these two heavyweights leading the way.
And you see how much that caused the 8 to delay, which allowed both the 97 and 81 stay out in front of him, but Patterson's not giving up. He's looking underneath the 81 now. He's going to try to get to the back bumper of the 97 to try to push the cause here and the urgency. Even though we've only got 6 laps to go, the urgency is already up, but the 8 has been really fast, and I know he does not want to finish third. He wants to get up to the front. He's been up front most of the night with Kazi as well.
Yeah, running that diamond line, which, hey, 6 laps to go. Burn these tires to the ground. It's going to give him a good momentum down the front straightaway. Takes a look to the inside of that 97 with 5 laps to go. Move Dylan Patterson up into the second position.
And now is the time to use that little bit of bump and run that we were talking about earlier in the race where it probably wasn't a good decision to use it then. Now it doesn't matter. 5 laps, coming to 4 laps to go, use it.
Ooh, tight racing here, exiting 4. That's going to give Beasall a look to the inside of Ed Shearer. Move the 33 up to 3rd. Now Patterson, 0.6 of a second back with 4 laps to go.
Where did Beasall come from?
Yeah, I don't know, but here he is. He's showing up in a stylish fashion, man. Looking good in that 33 with 3 laps to go. Can he get that car up to the front? Maybe. Going to have to work past Dylan Patterson first, though, but really not gaining on the 42. This 8 kind of stalling out with 3 to go. Not sure if he's going to have time to get to the bumper of that 42 to maybe put that bump and run on.
Yeah, I think the 8's overdriving just a little bit because he can see the 42 and he wants to get to him. I think he's overdriving just a little bit. He's not far off the time that Kazi's running per lap, but it's real close. He's just not able to make it up. He's still a little bit off of Kazi's time.
2 laps to go. Will this thing stay green to get to that white flag? Joseph Causey sitting 6 points out of the top 15 after missing the first 4 weeks of the season. He could very well be in the top 15 within 1 lap. Seeing that white flag waving here at the Monster Mile. 1 to go. 1 mile to go for that 42.
A lot of the guys in the top 10, Greg, are not in the top 10 in points. Seth Reed's really the only one that's really, secured his spot in the top 10, top 15. These other guys are going to be making up a lot of points if this ends.
Yeah, going to turns 3 and 4. He's going to come out of here real easily. See that checker flag waving. And Joseph Causey is your winner here tonight in the first state.
I got to give it to Causey coming all the way back from 1 lap down. Only like 40 laps ago when he got his lucky dog. So coming all the way back through the field, surviving, clean car, never was really involved in anything that I saw on track, which is surprising because there were a lot of roadblocks that happened with cautions, and he made it completely clear through them. Dylan Patterson also, both of them making their way back up through the field and getting first and second. That's a huge accomplishment, in my opinion, for Kazi and Patterson. And Besaw coming from nowhere. I didn't even see him.
Yeah, that's awesome. I can't wait to talk to Besaw just to hear about that run up to the front, what it means to be up in the SRN booth and on the podium for the first time in his career. But the man of the hour is Joseph Causey. This is your Xfinity TJ's Team Foundation winning moment. Check them out at www.morethanacape.org. It helps these families that are battling pediatric cancer a lot with everything they need as far as bills go, as far as just care goes, food, anything that helps these people ease their lives going through a tough time. So check out TJ's Team Foundation and check out these burnouts by Joseph Causey.
Yeah, he's not saving tire no more. He just broke the engine too, so he's really letting it go and burn him down completely.
Yeah, so that is going to wrap up the celebration there for the 42. We'll head back up to the blimp cam and bring up the results for tonight's race number 9 of 20 in the books. Joseph Causey comes home a winner. Dylan Patterson comes home in second. And Robert Besaw Jr., running as independent, comes home in third. Ed Shearer in fourth with Seth Reed in fifth. You got Jack Hedgecox here in sixth. Max Service in seventh. James Kerr here in eighth place. Nathan Sylvia, nice finish there, ninth after the rough night that he had in the 36. And then Aaron Gerwitz going to round out the top 10. Then his teammate Brandon Domain, a nice 11th place rebound after the wild last 30 laps that he had in that 20 machine. Brandon Richardson, a great run tonight as well, comes home in 12th. Nathan De La Rosa in 13th. And then the first car 1 lap down, going to be Ben Park, followed by Tristan Bailey in 15th. And Kyle Benson comes home 16th and 2 laps down. Taylor Smith in 17th. Bo Tiffany 18th. And you got Jacob Manning and Chris Bishop rounding out that top 20. So I've been looking forward to talking to this guy right here. Let's go ahead and bring him up. Let's see. There he is, broadcast booth. Rob Besaw, Greg Olenek, and Curtis Wadsworth up here in the SRN broadcast booth. Man, congratulations, a rookie here in the series. Kind of not made a name for yourself yet, but you show up here in a hurry at the Monster Mile. What is it about this 1 mile oval that you really like it, man, because you kind of came out of nowhere at the end after restarting sixth, finished third tonight. How's it feel?
Oh, it feels great. Again, thanks for having me. Yeah, I was slow in practice. I didn't put in a queue because I didn't want to cause any issues. I think I started back in 31st, 32nd, something like that. And a couple mental errors got myself a lap down, pitting in front of the pace car and then driving out the closed pits. But somehow got back in the lead lap, and the car just, I don't know, came alive. Felt great. Real fortunate racing with the guys that are on the track. I mean, they're phenomenal. We had a couple three wides, no issues at all. So it was great fun racing.
Yeah, Besaw, I was going to say you are the hard charger for tonight. 28 spots you went up. I thought Seth Reed was going to have it, but he only finished 24 spots up. So massive hard charge all the way up to third place. I've heard many, real life drivers. Brad Keselowski always says Dover is one of the toughest tracks to drive. What is it about this track that you enjoyed tonight to be able to get all the way back up to the top three?
Like I said, I don't know. The car it started rotating, or maybe it's just me getting used to the track. Starting to get a really good, diamonding effect. Good rotation in the center, which was really helping my exit. And if you can get that exit off, I was having a good time getting underneath guys. And like I said, everybody's racing really respectful. You get some overtake, and they're, giving you a spot and not trying to pinch you down or anything like that. So, it's a lot of give and take, and a lot of guys were working well together out there.
Well, first off, Robert, tell me, am I saying your last name correct? I want to make sure I get that right.
Yeah, it's B-Saw, like the B and the saw.
Okay, cool. And then secondly, man, we're going to Auto Club next week. Have a good run here tonight. How are you feeling about the 2 Mile Oval out in Fontana, California? A little bit of a different race here than at Dover Motor Speedway.
Yeah, I'm really interested to see how the drafting is going to work there. These cars have been pulling around pretty good. It's going to be fun. I'm looking forward to it.
All right, man. Well, congrats again. Before we let you go, you got any friends, any family, any sponsors you want to give a quick shout out to?
I got some teammates that obviously they help me out kind of with the track and stuff. They're not on the league yet, but we still talk and practice. And I do have friends and family watching if they're still awake. I appreciate them for tuning in.
All right, man. Well, we appreciate you for coming on board here at SRN, and off to a hot start, man. Podiums are not easy to come by in this league, so congratulations. Have fun celebrating with the friends, and we'll see you next week at Auto Club.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
All right, that was Rob Besaw coming home in third place. Let's go ahead and move Dylan Patterson up into the broadcast booth. Dylan, congrats. Runner-up this evening. I know you wanted to come home at first with the way that number 8 car was hooked up here tonight, but you really might be getting the momentum here towards the middle part of the season. Not having the finishes you want early on, how's it feel to get second here tonight at Dover?
Yeah. Talk about not having the finishes. This season has been terrible. So I had this race circled. Honestly, this race and the rest of them up until the playoffs, I'm liking the schedule. So hopefully I can get hot and make the playoffs and make a run in the playoffs.
Dylan, we know you were out front when all these cautions started springing up here with these last 30, 40 laps. Do you think you would have been able to hold off some of these guys on a little bit fresher tires at the point before the cautions started when you were out front running away from the field? Do you think you would have been able to hold them off?
Yeah, had those laps last like 40 laps or so went green, I had the race won, no doubt. I saw that yellow and my heart kind of broke.
Yeah, you were off to a huge gap there. Unfortunately, it didn't work in your favor tonight, but what's it going to take, man? You're pretty far back as far as the cut line goes. You think you have what it takes? Like you said, you like the schedule coming up here in the next couple weeks. You think you can get it done? With the drop weeks included now, you thinking you're going to be able to point your way in, or are you going to be more reliant on that playoff lucky dog?
If I can string some more top 5s, top 10s, I don't really think it's out of reach. A win would definitely be nice. I wanted that tonight, but came up just short.
Yeah, you did. But, man, second is nothing to hang your head on here at Dover. I knew you were strong, and I knew you were going to be a contender here tonight. So congratulations on the second place run. Before we let you go, you got any friends, any family, any sponsors you want to give a quick shout-out to?
Just y'all up in the booth and everyone involved in SRN. I mean, it's just a great league, fun to be a part of, organized. I mean, not really anything negative to say about it. So, yeah.
Awesome, man. Well, congrats again. Have fun celebrating the runner-up, and maybe make it one better next week at Auto Club. Maybe we'll see you in Victory Lane. Congrats again, and have a good night, bud.
All right, thanks.
All right, that was Dylan Patterson, who came home this evening in second place. Let's go ahead and get to the man of the hour. Bring up Joseph Kazi, who gets his second win on the season now. Joseph, congratulations. It's Greg Olenek and Curtis Swatsworth up here in the SRN broadcast booth. Now, coming into this race, Joseph, you were 6 points behind the cut line. I have to imagine you're going to be on the flip side of that here. How's it feel after missing the first 4 races to get 2 wins already and already sitting on the good side of the playoffs?
Hey, that's really good. I was expecting it not to go so well after my little catastrophe on pit road during when I got a lap down, but after we got the lap back, I thought Joshua Siegfried was gonna get me when I didn't pit and everybody else pit. And I thought I was gonna take a wave around, and I didn't get to take a wave around. So when I didn't get to take a wave around, I had to fight Siegfried off, and we got the caution right at the nick of time, right when Siegfried was getting up on top of me, and we got it back on the lead lap, and just went from there. Got the 4 tires. Then when I was sitting like 6 or something, and we went back down pit road because we had a couple cautions, and then we came back in, and everybody came in, and when I pitted, I seen my left sides sitting on 99%. I just turned the things off and just took rights, and I was like, "We out. We gonna take this away."
Well, Joseph, I got to give massive props to you for being able to come back 1 lap down. You did that within 40 laps of the finish, and you were able to get that lucky dog spot. You fought back to get to it. You come through the field. You managed your way through some pretty bad wrecks on the backstretch to get back up towards the front. You lead the most laps tonight. I mean, it was a great race to watch. You started on the front row, had a bad, fast car. Like I said, most laps led. You finish first, get the max points. I got to ask, though, what happened on pit road?
I ran out of gas.
Oh,
Straight ran out of gas.
That's what we were wondering, because, I mean, Greg was like, oh, he must have had a black flag. I'm like, well, it's not showing that on pit road, so I don't know what happened to him. I'm like, maybe he just had a bad coming out of pit road, or maybe a bad stop going into pit road, but I never saw you run out of fuel, so that definitely checks another box for big respect for being able to run out of fuel, go a lap down, and make your way back within the last 40 laps.
Yes, sir. I was thinking, man, I threw this one away or having a fight at chance at it, but I thought Seth was going to get this one. He was bad fast, and I was thinking, man, as long as he kept the car clean, but he ended up getting wrecked, and he was going to win that thing. But I was glad to come back up and take the win for
I gotta give you another prop too. I just looked at the results. The only driver in the field besides the guy who was 64 laps down, the only lead lap car, I'll say that had 0 incidents tonight.
That's
and I was making comments about how clean your car was coming through all these crashes and being in the middle of the field, and 0 incidents. That's insane to be at the front row, lead all these laps, go to the back of the field being a lap down, get the lucky dog, come all the way through the field, get back to the front, win the race, and have 0 incidents. That's insane and incredible. Nice job.
Yes, sir. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Well, Joseph, 4 wins to your name already here this season, running in the Cup and Xfinity Series. I got to ask, which one you liking more at this point? They seem to both be going pretty well for you there.
Speaking of, I don't like this car. You would think I would say, Xfinity, but I mean, I don't know. I have a love-hate relationship with the Xfinity car, to be honest with you. Like, I find it to be okay at times, and then at other times I feel like I'm eating tires all the time. So, it's in between. So, I mean, they're both good in their both ways. So, at least we got the win. I'm glad to get the win for my team.
All right, man. Well, before we let you go, you got any friends, any family, any sponsors you want to give a quick shout out to?
Yes, sir. I would thank Paul Security. They on the hood. We put them in Victory Lane again. Paul Security been getting a lot of attention. Bergerson Farms, Burgarts, Kareen Dental, Hunter Anesthesia Associates, Park Brothers Racing, Parkway Lanes, Teespring, Healthcare Building Inc., EWRL, and I'd like to thank all my teammates for helping me out. I wasn't up to speed when I first got to here. I was asking Max what I should be doing, so. And, man, thank the broadcast. Definitely go back and watch this one.
It's a good one to watch for sure, man. But you put on a show tonight, put that thing in Victory Lane, like you said, and your sponsor, Boss Security, probably very happy right now to be on the hood of that 42. So congrats again on your second win here in the Xfinity Series. We'll see you next week at Auto Club. Have a good night, man. Have fun celebrating.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
All right, that was our winner, Joseph Ghazi, here tonight, and well-deserving. Like you said, man, it's something to work your way up through the field the way he did and to do it clean at the same time.
I mean, 150 laps, how many cautions? 9 or 10, and zero incidents for this guy coming through the field, going a lap down. I mean, that's got to be one in many races that I've seen at Dover with, you know, the only guy to go through and finish in the win with zero incidents. That's an incredible feat by the 42. Super fast tonight. That's amazing for him. So huge shout out to him.
Yeah,
I don't think we're gonna be allowed to make picks though, Greg, next week, because all of our picks this week did not finish anywhere near the front.
I'm gonna pick myself and just see what happens. We gotta test this theory.
Hey, you gotta bet on yourself. That's a winning call right there.
Yeah, always. Well, you know, that's gonna do it for us here after a great week at Dover Motor Speedway, but going out to a much different racetrack next week, as always, here on Speed Racing Network. Don't go anywhere, because we're gonna have Auto Club up next. Las Vegas Motor Speedway in 2 more weeks. Iowa Speedway in 3 weeks, Kansas, and then Texas for the first race of the playoffs. So it's getting ever so close now, with Dover in the books at the halfway point next week for week number 10. So make sure you come back same time as always. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and hit that bell so you know any time that we go live. But like I said, that's going to do it for us here tonight. For myself, for Curtis Swatsworth, and all the admins behind the scenes, we wish you guys a good night and go faster.